estate market has been the talk of everyone, hasn't it? Around the kitchen table, on the news, neighbors are talking about it. What are they talking about? High prices, low inventory, the number of cash buyers, the interest rates. Everybody has been really interested in real estate. Frankly, everybody's almost always interested in real estate, but there have been some unique things that have happened in the last 2 years that have really gotten everybody talking. The luxury real estate market also draws its own attention from those who buy it and sell it, and even those who don't. In this video, I want to talk to you about buyer trends and preferences that we're seeing in the luxury real estate market. What are they? Are they similar to what we're seeing in the general market, let's call it? Or are they different? And how are those trends likely to shape what's happening now and what's happening in the future for the luxury buyer? So the luxury home buyer, what are the trends we're seeing around their purchase? What are the trends we're seeing around the homes that they are buying? That's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now. I'm Sherry Ann Green with Coldwell Banker. Welcome to my YouTube channel that guides home sellers and home buyers in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. The first trend we're seeing is lifestyle is a top driver of the real estate purchase for the luxury buyer. The effects of the pandemic are still having an effect on the luxury buyer. The prioritization of health and wellness and home as a safe haven, those are all still being seen in the luxury home purchase in 2022. In fact, what we're seeing as luxury property specialists is that lifestyle is really driving the luxury home buyer purchase altogether. It is at the forefront of what is causing people to want to purchase a luxury property. Their desire for more space and safe havens and outdoor space, it's all still happening in 2022. All these values were shaped by what happened in 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic, and now we're seeing it still play out in 2022, which leads us to believe it may not be a trend at all. It may be what we see for much of the future. In 2020, there was a surge of people escaping many cities, right? People were panic buying and leaving the cities in droves in many cases. New York is a great example of that. It was interesting to see this phenomenon of people just fleeing New York and buying and leaving and renting anywhere else that they could. But in 2021, we're seeing buyers come back. They're coming back to cities. They're coming back to that lifestyle. They're just living it in a little bit of a different way. Maybe commuting is no longer a driver of where somebody wants to live, but the space that they can live in. And it still could be in that city that they love. It just may need to look different. One of the other big differences were buyers made big geographical moves in 2021. So in 2020, with this panic buying, a lot of people were buying locally. They were just buying bigger space down the street or across the neighborhood or across the city. But what we saw in 2021, when people could travel again, is the change in geography of where people bought started to shift. Where in 2020, we saw a localized buyer. In 2021, we saw people buying anywhere, as they knew that they could work from home, even for the shorter term, and for many, when they started to learn that they could work from home indefinitely, well, moving geographically, moving to another state, moving to another location, completely out of where their job is, that became a possibility. And one thing we saw with all of those moves that is going to continue is that move-in ready is the mantra. Buyers don't want to do anything to their house. They want it to be move-in ready. They want to walk right in, unpack, and be at home. They don't want to change dishwashers or light fixtures or anything else that might need to be done. And why is that? It's the influence of what they're hearing in the news, just like you are. The supply chain issues, the demand for contractor issues. Those are the things that a luxury buyer just doesn't want to wait on. They want to buy a house and it be ready to go. Buyers will pay more for a move-in ready home. It's just a fact. And for the luxury buyer, they're not as price conscious. What we've been seeing in the luxury space is that homes that need work and are overpriced, they're just not selling. This is something I've talked about in other videos. Everybody thinks that everything is just selling. Put a home on the market and it sells. And that's just not the case. If a home is overpriced and the home needs work, it may not move. It may not move as quickly as you want it to, or it may not move at all. And that's true in the luxury buyer space. And you might sort of stop and think like, well, wow, a luxury buyer can afford to buy a house and can afford to do those improvements. Why? They don't have to, and they don't want to. Luxury buyers are busy professionals, and they do not want to take the time or the effort to go through a renovation. They are willing to pay a premium to get what they need and to get it right from the start. Another trend we saw with the luxury buyer is the need for outdoor space. Outdoor space wanted, the great outdoors. It's something that luxury buyers were looking for even more than in the past. Large yards and pools were some of the most sought after amenities in the last 2 years, and that is continuing. If people are going to be staying at home and entertaining at home and working from home, they want these amenities right at their fingertips. They don't want to have to go down the street. Where people used to stop by the park on their way home from work or stop by the pool on their way home from work or school, they may not be going and they may not be commuting, and it may be just as easy to step right out into the backyard. And while home offices were really the headline of home sales in 2020, in 2021 and moving into 2022, it's not as important anymore. What's important are some open spaces and also some separate spaces. Now, those spaces could be turned into home offices for sure, but it's not the amenity that seems to be leading the luxury buyer today, like it was in 2020. And it's not that a home office isn't important, it just wasn't the driving factor of closing the deal. Now, will these trends continue? Most likely, yes. So many of us have not had to return to the office. So many people may have a hybrid work environment now. They may be able to work from home half the time or most of the time and then go into the office for important meetings or important client get-togethers. And so this lifestyle of living and working from home is likely going to continue, which means the need for such spaces, the need for such amenities at home is going to just keep going. The pandemic changed the way we work, which changed the way we live. And that seems to be something that is going to be long lasting and seen well into our future of real estate, whether it's the regular real estate market, let's call it, or the luxury real estate market. Are you interested in the luxury real estate market? You're in the right place. Check the comments and the description of this video. I'm going to put a download. It's called The Report, and it's all of the insights that I'm talking about in this video series and more. You can download that report for free. And if you're interested in the luxury real estate market even more, make sure you watch this video next.